Good evening. It's good to have you join us on Newswave. Eligible voters urges INEC to sustain the successes recorded in the mock accreditation exercise as the much-anticipated election draws closer. Despite Supreme Court temporary suspension of the CBN 10th February 2023 deadline on the use of some denominations of old Naira notes, difficulties to get cash from ATM in Port Harcourt seems unabated. 2023 elections, Governor Wike leads team for Rivers Southeast Senatorial Campaign Rally. Nigeria joins the globe to commemorate International Day of Women and Girls in Science. I am Ifoma Umisa. Welcome. We have a collective responsibility to shun violence during elections. Be patriotic. Transmission of the news continues on our social media handle on Facebook via www.NTA Port Harcourt Channel 10. Like our page on Facebook to get updates of our news and programs. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has urged the people of Rivers State Senatorial District to remain steadfast and continue mobilization for the February 25th presidential and March 11th governorship elections to ensure the PDP emerge victorious in the state. Ogediyekwe reports that the governor was speaking at the Yakubu Gowon Stadium, Elekaya, Port Harcourt, venue of the rally. We will bring you that report in our subsequent bulletin. Minister of Defense Major General Bashir Magashi, retired, has charged batch 33 graduates of Nigerian Navy Basic Training School on air to show commitment and professionalism in service to their fatherland, especially as they would be deployed in 2023 general elections. Kingsley Amajiri reports.
1,562 of these ratings are joining the fleet of the Nigerian Navy after a 6-month training. From the attack and defense techniques, physical and armed combat, the ratings demonstrate their knowledge and competence towards resolving national security challenges. The Reviewing Officer and Chief of Defense Staff, represented by the Chief of Air Staff, charged the ratings to be loyal, patriotic, and support constituted authorities.
In a few days from today, the 2023 general election will take place all over the nation, and some of you may be deployed to support as part of the military aid to civil authority. You must be professional and avoid acts that will bring the armed forces to dispute. To further strengthen the armed forces or improve national security, I am aware that the Nigerian Navy has embarked on tremendous capacity development initiatives, expansion in infrastructure development, as well as undergoing platform acquisitions and recapitalization.
Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awa Gambo, had earlier inaugurated the Commandant's residential quarters at the institution. From One, Rivers State, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
Congratulations to the graduates. Celebrated every year on February 11, International Day of Women and Girls in Science is observed by the United Nations to promote the full and equal access and participation of women and girls in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics fields. This year's theme is Innovate, Demonstrate, Alleviate, Advance, and Sustain. Chidebere Onya reports on the significance of the UN observance.
We need to encourage and support girls and women to achieve their full potential as scientific researchers and innovators. Women and girls need this, and the world needs this, if we are able to achieve our ambitions for sustainable development on a healthy planet.
Venturing into sciences is not an exclusive preserve of men. Do not allow even your culture or family beliefs to limit you. This is the takeaway from the message of the United Nations on the occasion of 2023 International Day of Women and Girls in Science. The day aims to celebrate women and girls who have devoted themselves to science and the advancement of human knowledge and understanding as students, researchers, and practitioners in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics disciplines.
Science is not only for men, it can be for both women, and we should take all professions. We shouldn't leave some for men and some for women.
We should give women and girls the opportunity to participate in science, because what a man can do, a woman can do it better.
In Nigeria, the number of women and girls in sciences is still inadequate, as long-standing biases as well as gender stereotypes are said to be keeping girls and women away from science-related fields.
The fact remains very obvious that girls are naturally shy. They don't want to come out. But right now, we are even planning to do a program in my school, which we have started. We are working on it, to give both the boys and the girls equal rights.
It was extremely important for us that we focused on women in line with the SDGs, as you know, of gender equality, but also encouraging more young girls to go into science, technology, engineering, and math, which is an area that women often get underrepresented in, and we wanted to encourage that very much.
This year's observance is a reminder that women and girls play a critical role in science and technology, which calls for strengthening their participation. In Port Harcourt, Chidi Ebere Onya, NTA News.
The girl and the boy child needs equal rights. Moving on now to education, the Department of Economics, University of Port Harcourt, has presented a book titled Emerging Issues in Economic Policy and Development in Nigeria in honor of Professor Willie Jeremiah Okowa and Professor Tamuno Priye as they retire from the institution. Nkiru Onyejesi reports that the event was graced by dignitaries from the academia.
The book, which was written by a group of scholars from the Department of Economics, University of Port Harcourt, focuses on corruption, Nigerian economy, issues of public sector, governance and development in Nigeria, among other issues.
The book is divided into 26 chapters and 48 contributors, widely contributed by friends and then by associates.
Guests, colleagues, and students appreciate the retiring professors for their contributions to the school and the Department of Economics in particular. They prayed for greater heights for them as they bow out of active service.
These two very strong, senior colleagues are retiring. So in order to honor them, we decided to organize this send forth, and the climax of it is to do a book in their honor.
These two very fine, gentle, they're getting old, but they're still gentlemen, for all what they have done for this university. They are people I personally know.
They've been very good to us. They've set some standard for us to follow, and they've been committed.
The celebrants, Professor Willie Okowa and Professor Tamuno Priye Agio-Benebo, recalled their times as lecturers and thanked the school authorities for giving them an enabling environment to carry out their duties to the best of their abilities.
I am very happy that people appreciated what I did. As a young man, they thought I was a terror because I was writing with right and cleaning with left. But they now realize that all that was mentoring.
I feel on top of the world. My advice is always treat your students as your children. That's how I've always treated my students. Treat your students as your children, and they will treat you as their father.
The event had the unveiling and presentation of the book Emerging Issues of Economic Policy and Development in Nigeria, and also cutting of their birthday cake as they share the same birth month. In Port Harcourt, Nkiru Onyejesi, NTA News.
We wish the retirees well in all their endeavors. Joy Uzo is standing by with an update on the CBN redesign notes as she sampled the opinion of a management expert in Port Harcourt on matters arising and way forward.
The new policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria that includes the introduction of redesigned Naira notes into the economy seemed to have taken a new dimension due to scarcity of these new Naira notes in circulation. With me is a management expert to speak on current realities concerning this policy of the CBN and where the country is currently heading to as regards this policy.
The current situation, the way forward, a lot of things are happening and a lot of people are not happy. Scarcity of the Naira notes and putting a lot of people in hardship, including myself. Well, as the leaders, they should come up with something very quick before people start losing hope in them.
Federal Executive Council suggested to federal government that since it appears the new Naira note is in short supply, they should bring up the mopped up old notes to redistribute to the populace, right? Instead of insisting, showing arrogance that it has to work, and the target is against vote buying. We need human beings to do this vote. People might die, I've said it earlier. Before that time, people already died. So why not you listen to Voice of Reason? Nobody is saying that redesign Naira. We are not even talking about redesign Naira notes to go out of extinction or to say that we want it, let it come. If you even say the new Naira note, has it not happened before? You go simply go and swap. You take it. You mustn't have to open account, have a bank account number, whatever, with a bank. So what is doing is strange. I will urge him to resign immediately.
Okay, well, what we have currently in the society is a situation where Nigerians are currently back to using the old Naira notes, following the hot on the ban of the use of the old Naira note by the Supreme Court and the injunction by FEC that the old Naira notes should be, circulated alongside the new Naira notes to ensure that Nigerians have cash to spend. At the moment, Nigerians are hoping that all hands will be on deck to address the grey areas of this new policy. So there will be a seamless phasing out of the old Naira notes out of circulation to pave way for the newly redesigned Naira notes, which I'm sure you will agree with me is one of good and beautiful quality. In Port Harcourt, I'm Joy Uzo, NTA News.
We believe that all this will fade off soon. Thank you, Joy, for that update. Let's take a breather, and when we return, there will be more reports. Stay tuned.
Stop the suits, my people. Stop the suits. Do not make yourself an enemy of the people by operating a Lagos refinery. No amount of ill-gotten money from a Lagos refinery can save your life, because you are poisoning yourself too. Our rivers are polluted, and poisoned seafood is what we have. Our lands polluted. Poisoned vegetable is what we consume. Sickness is everywhere. Disease is killing the people. Wake up, brothers. Remember, River State is our own. Save the land, save the seas, and our precious seafood, for there is no place like home. Say no to illegal refinery. Say no to poor fire. The law will catch up with you. They are watching.
River State, our responsibility.
From the government house, I am Ogedinye Kweri.
From Rumola, Yanukume, Ulolo, NTA News.
From the River State House of Assembly, Dibabari Siedamameke, NTA News.
In Jubilee Park, Ijomu Gweke, NTA News.
From the Zonal Center of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA Port Harcourt, I am Jenny Basi.
Thanks for staying with us on Newswave. Nkiru Onyejesi is standing by to give us stories that made headlines during the week.
A very good evening. It's good to have you join us on another segment of Week in Review. I am Nkiru Onyejesi. Now, within the week, the Federal Executive Council approved 117 billion naira contract for the construction of Oil and Gas Museum and Research Center at Oloibiri, Bayelsa State. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timi Silva, announced this while briefing journalists after the meeting of the council presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari.
This actually is a major milestone and is expected to be a major legacy of Mr. President in the Niger Delta.
And back here in the state, earlier this week, Governor Nyesom Wike charged the newly sworn-in judges of the River State Judiciary to function optimally and be firm and courageous in the discharge of their duties.
It is very difficult to stand firm and look into people's eyes and say, look, this is what I think the law is all about. And so we should also, in appointment of judges, consider the factor of being courageous. I don't see any reason why any judge in the state here cannot be courageous. I don't see that reason, because comparatively, you are better off in most of the states.
In another development, River State Governor Nyesom Wike directed security agencies in the state to clamp down on cultists militant support group being used to disturb the peace, safety and security of the state. He gave the directive in his broadcast where he addressed the disturbances trailing some political rallies in the state.
The 2023 general elections are less than 3 weeks away. Political activities are in top gear, with political parties and candidates intensifying campaigns across the state. We're happy with the generally peaceful campaigns, except for the few isolated reported incidents of violence by sponsored rival cults, gangs, and support groups in 1 or 2 political rallies. We commend the security agencies for providing adequate security cover for all the political parties to carry on with their electionary activities, including crowded rallies and meetings. The state government will continue to support the security agencies to sustain the prevailing atmosphere of peace and security for voters to exercise their voting rights without fear or intimidation before, during, and after the elections.
Still on political rallies, the All Progressive Congress APC governorship candidate, Tonye Cole, says his administration will concentrate on improving infrastructure that will have direct bearing on the people if elected in the 2023 general elections. He said this at a rally in Umunachi, Omoma local government area of River State.
That this man will represent you.
Similarly, the governorship candidate of the Social Democratic Party, River State, Senator Magnus Abe, says the controversies arising from the redesigned Naira note should not distract people. Rather, it is a time to be focused and ensure credible leaders are enthroned to change the narrative come February 25th and March 11th. The senator was speaking during the inauguration of the SDP campaign council in River State.
What we need to do is to go and do what we have agreed to do. Let us go and work. A brighter future awaits all Rivers people. We can actually build a community here.
And finally, we reported earlier this week that the Organized Labor Union in River State have called on relevant authorities to take action to resolve the issues of new Naira notes, supply and rising petroleum pump price affecting residents. They made the call in a chat with NTA News.
In River State, we don't have products anywhere. In some filling stations, petroleum product, PMS, sell as high as 500 naira per liter, where you even see it. Marketers are now proud and bold to change the pump prices to reflect 400, 500 without impunity.
That's the size of our package this evening. Many thanks for your time. I am Kiru Onyejisi. It's back to the studio for the continuation of Newswave.
Many thanks, Nkiru, for that week in review package. Junk food, also known as street food, is fast evolving among the various segments of the Nigerian society. Despite the fact that consumption of fast foods has been linked to the etiology of some diseases that affect one's health. It remains a most sought after for people. Nkiru Onyejesi examines the various reasons for the preference of fast food.
Street food, also known as fast food or finger food, has become more popular over the years. It is found in almost every country around the world. There are many reasons for its popularity, including affordability.
Easy. In between me, I wanted to go and eat food, but I can't accept it for now. So I said, let me just take it as an in between so I will not fix. Okay. This one is easily accessible. Okay. And it's not that expensive anyway. You can easily just get this and then you're okay. Then you leave around for the day. Go about your activity.
To others, street food is an important aspect of culture. Many countries have specific dishes that are tied to their tradition and custom.
You can access it easily. Sometimes they are cheaper. And then you can get it at every corner you go. So going to restaurants, there are designated centers. You have to walk for some distance before you get to that point. But this one, you can see it at any place at the corner, by the roadside. You can just access them and eat and go.
Normally, like the name implies, you said it all. Say it's a fast food. It's something that you use to sustain yourself. Why the original food that you're supposed to, why you are waiting is coming. You go for fast food.
They also advise the need for moderation in consumption of street foods to avoid depriving the body of essential nutrients which are not found in street foods. In Port Harcourt, Nkiru Onyejesi, NTA News.
Try as much as possible to eat healthy. The 6th Division Nigerian Army has organized its West African Social Activities WASA 2022, featuring various military and cultural performances in Port Harcourt. Robinson Daratede reports that the Governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, and NTA Port Harcourt Zonal Director, Evelyn Wosu, were among award recipients at the events.
It was a beautiful evening at the 6th Division Nigerian Army Headquarters, Port Harcourt, as various military and paramilitary performances by the Army and the National Youth Service Corps put smiles on the faces of guests who turned out to celebrate the 2022 West African Social Activities WASA. Representatives of various ethnic groups in Nigeria showcased their rich cultural heritage. Taekwondo performance by children had color to the event. Rivers State Governor, represented by his Chief of Staff, Emeka Woke, and the GOC 6th Division, represented by Brigadier General A.A. Idris, sued for peaceful election.
The men and officers of this 6D, they will follow the position of Mr. President and that of the Chief of Defense Staff and that of the Chief of Army Staff, not to interfere in politics.
Let me seize this opportunity to solicit for the support of all the relevant stakeholders, join hands with the division to eradicate all forms of preliminary.
WASA is upset to mark the end of age training year and usher in a new year. Partners of the 6th Division, including Governor Nyesom Wike and NTA Port Harcourt Zonal Director Evelyn Iwoso, were presented with awards. From 6th Division Port Harcourt, Robinson Terateide, NTA News.
Beautiful cultural display there. And that wraps up Newswave tonight. But before we go, you are a true leader when you help your team become successful. Remember, leadership is not about you. It's all about the people you serve. Thanks for watching. Good night.